What's going on, guys? It's UrAvgConsumer. Now, I know a lot of you guys are at home right now, probably running out of things to do, but here I am coming to the rescue. I've got 15 cool apps that I think you guys would really enjoy to pass the time. I actually probably have a few more than what you guys see here, and I'll have everything linked down below in the description. But let's talk about some cool apps if you're bored. Okay guys, so here I have a separate page to go over the apps I want to talk to you guys about. And of course, we'll start off with games because like many of you know, I play a ton of mobile games and I figure why not share some of my favorites. It's also the easiest way to kill time on your smartphone, outside of Instagram. So the first game we've got is this game called Juicy Stack, which I'm honestly hooked on. And you can just think of this as like a Tetris tower. The goal here is to get rid of layers and continue to stack as much as possible, clearing levels along the way. You'll get all kinds of shapes that you need to add to the tower that you'll either turn or flip in order to clear a layer. It's pretty simple, but once you get close to the top, it can give you a bit of a rush to try and clear it out. It's a fun game that'll keep you on your toes, and I've surprisingly spent countless hours playing this game, especially while traveling, which you probably aren't doing right now. And next up, we've got 2048, which Ari put me on to years and years ago. The goal of the game is to keep the board as clear as possible while sliding tiles in 4 different directions to merge tiles and create one that goes all the way up to 2048. It's super relaxing and a bit of a challenge, and it had me hooked back in the day. Next up is another puzzle game called Luminous. I don't know if you remember this from the PSP days, but it was awesome, and now they have an app for smartphones. This one is also very much like Tetris, where the goal is to get 4 blocks of the same color together before the line that moves across the screen goes by and makes them disappear. And one of the things I love about this game is the soundtrack. It's so good. So it's a fun game with chill vibes and music, which makes it an easy recommendation for passing time. Now it's time for some personal favorite mobile games that you can catch me on literally every single day, and not just when I'm bored, probably even while I'm supposed to be getting some work done. If you're a longtime subscriber, then you know I love Sonic Forces. It's a racing game against online players in real time, and this one requires an internet connection, so keep that in mind. But if you enjoy Sonic and racing, you'll have a good time with it. The goal is of course to be the first past the finish line, but along the way you collect rings and power-ups to give you an advantage while avoiding certain traps. It has all the Sonic characters you can imagine, which adds to the fun because they're all unique and have different characteristics, and this one is seriously addicting, so download with caution. Now another huge favorite of mine is Dragalia Loss. It's a mobile action RPG that focuses on cool dragons and characters that you can level up and you can even build weapons with, and there are a lot of cool characters, and it actually has a pretty fascinating storyline. This one I know isn't for everyone, but for my RPG lovers out there who want a good game, this one is a great option. It's actually made by Nintendo, so you know it's got a solid company backing it up. And another one that's a personal favorite of mine is this cool Gundam game where you can build and customize your own Gundam, even down to the colors, weapons, whatever you want. And I'm not gonna talk about this one too much, but I know there are some Gundam fans who follow me, so be sure to check it out, you guys. I spend way too much time on this one, as you'd expect. Now, let's get the gaming aside. We've got some entertainment apps, and let's ignore that one has to go. But for those of you who want to watch movies for free, surprisingly there's an option in the App Store. One of the apps that I found recently is called Tubi. This app has a bunch of good movies that play at surprisingly good quality, so if you want to watch something but don't want to pay a subscription fee, or you don't have someone's password to something like Netflix, then this is a pretty good option. There are a couple of other apps just like this that have other movies, so I'll have them all linked down below in the description. And since we're always showing anime on this channel, whether it's in a phone review or something else, I always get the question on where I watch my animes. So my go-to apps for that are of course Crunchyroll, which you can pay a subscription for, but if you don't want to, then you can just watch with ads. They have a huge library of anime, and there are tons and tons of cool shows to binge watch while you're stuck at home. I have a few of my favorite shows listed down below, but if you don't like the idea of reading subtitles and you would prefer dubbed versions in English, then you can check out Funimation. Subbed is better than dubbed, but who am I to judge? Now, if you don't want to try and fry your brain cells with games, anime, or movies, there's a cool app called Facts that spits out random facts that are actually really interesting. You guys can see it on the screen. It's got some good stuff. You can think of it as an app that spits out real Snapple facts, and you can even have it send notifications that'll give you a random fact throughout the day. But if you want something a bit more creative and challenging, there's an app called Peak. This is a cool app to keep your mind sharp by doing different tests to train certain aspects of your brain. And I love that it's not super easy. The difficulty increases the better you get at training. You can use this to enhance your problem-solving skills, memory, focus, and then some. And the challenges are actually pretty fun and interesting, so it's worth looking into instead of aimlessly scrolling for hours on social media. Now, next up is QuizUp. This one doesn't really train your mind, but will quiz you on things you should already know. Personally, I have mine set to topics related to like Pokemon, video game characters, logos, but you can choose the ones that you might know best or are interested in. You can play single player or go up against someone online in a timed match, which is actually pretty intense. Now, in terms of communication, we've got Google Duo. Now, this is the perfect app for people to download right now if you want that FaceTime with a friend from school or work, while of course practicing social distancing. Now, what's awesome about this is that Google Duo is a really simple video chat app, just like FaceTime, but it works between iOS and Android. So if you want to get in touch with your friends, it really doesn't matter what device they're using. Not to mention, it has really crisp video quality. This is one of those apps that make it a lot easier when someone close to you has a different operating system. Now, next up we have Happy Color. This is a pure time-wasting app, but it is calming. You can choose a design from the long list they provide, and you fill in all the pre-designated colors by tapping the number and color at the bottom of the screen, and you find where it belongs on the picture. Now, at face value, it seems really easy, which it kinda is, but a lot of the art is pretty detailed, and you have to search and zoom in on the pieces to fill in all of the little spaces. At the end, you can play back your process and see the complete and finished picture, and I have to say, guys, it is very satisfying. And last but not least, and hear me out, is Reddit. I know most of you have probably heard of Reddit, but it's actually a cool place if you have an interest in just about anything. You can find a subreddit, which is basically the topic you're interested in, on pretty much anything. And then you get access to a community of people that share the common interest. I use it for game tips and keeping up with new information on my favorite games like Apex Legends, and right now my sister-in-law uses it to read like gossip or even comment on other people's relationships. Reddit is an interesting place, guys, but if you're interested, you should try it out because as you can see, the interests vary widely, so it can fit pretty much anyone. Kind of like YouTube. But that about wraps it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. All of the apps that I mentioned are free, but of course you can pay for like special features or taking away all those ads. So if you guys are interested, links down below in the description. Again, this video is not sponsored, so go ahead, pick what you want. Everyone, hope you stay safe, wash your hands. Peace.